Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because I'm finally feeling well enough to record again. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I am still sick. But luckily I'm not bedridden like I was on Saturday. And I was kind of bummed out for multiple reasons. First reason was I was too sick to do pretty much anything, including play Starfield, which sucks because I'm absolutely addicted to the game. Don't get me wrong, I have a few gripes with it, but overall I am really enjoying it. Then again, maybe part of the reason for that is because this is my first Bethesda game. So for a new player like myself, it's like, oh wow, this is so cool. But then for older players, this is like, yeah, this is what we've come to expect at this point. But anyway, the second and more obvious reason I was bummed out is, well, I couldn't record anything. And that also meant that I couldn't announce the winner of the giveaway from last video, which I will announce it, but hold on, first we gotta get these member cards out of the way. So hold on, 1, 0. All right, cool. But yeah, anyway, congratulations to Diamond Eyes, aka I'm Your Passenger. I don't know why YouTube shows like the tags now instead of the actual channel names. That's really annoying to me, but whatever. Congratulations, you have won. And the comment, of course, was King Thrash is a poopy head, which I fully agree with. Thank you so much for speaking the truth. But yeah, anyway, you have 24 hours to contact me on Discord from the time of this video going live. My Discord name is just KlutzyKing552. So yeah, reach out within 24 hours, and if you don't, then I'll re-roll the winner in my next video. And thank you to everybody else who subbed and participated in the giveaway. But anyway, with that announcement out of the way, let's go ahead and get into what all of you are here for, that glorious Starfield salt. Because whoo boy, there has been so much of it. And honestly, I always say when I do these Twitter videos, oh, well, I don't do Twitter content, but this is an exception. I'm just gonna stop saying that because I've been doing so much of it recently. Now, don't worry, it's not gonna be the main content. I'm not gonna become an Alex or a Frick clone. Well, any more than I already am, I guess. But anyway, whatever. Let's go ahead and get into the first tweet. Rip at IGN mentions, and then it's the screenshot of IGN giving Starfield a 7 out of 10. Nothing quite like using IGN as a reliable source. You know, the studio who gives a 7 out of 10 to pretty much everything. Hell, I think during like Summer Games Fest or something like that, they actually made a joke about how they give a 7 out of 10 to everything. But even putting that aside, I love how these guys just clutch on to this IGN review and all these other like 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10s, whatever, when the vast majority of reviews are from 8 to 10. Hell, it even got a 100 from IGN Japan and a 95 from IGN Brazil. I guess IGN America is just dumb or something. And yes, I know it's their opinion, but to quote Eminem, I know it's your opinion, but your opinion is wrong. Anyway, next tweet. Yeesh, and then it's the IGN review again and the Metacritic score of 87. And this is gonna come up a couple times in this video, but I have to ask, how is an 87 bad? That's a B+. I'd say that's pretty damn good. Especially since, you know what, let's take a look at some PlayStation games real quick. Wow, Spider-Man also got an 87. I guess that game sucks. Man, Miles Morales only got an 85. Dude, I can't even imagine how bad that game is. And God help you if you're Ghost of Tsushima. Dude, an 83, I don't think there's any recovery from that. This must be one of the worst games of all time. And the response these guys use to justify saying that an 87 is bad is they'll say that, oh, this is supposed to be a game of the generation. Who, besides like one Xbox fanboy on Twitter, said this was going to be game of the generation? Because I know Xbox and Bethesda didn't say that. So that argument isn't exactly what I would call valid. Anyway, next tweet. Okay, it's not looking good for Team Xbox, so I'ma give you a way out. All Starfield Xbox Series X version has to do is score the same or better than Final Fantasy 16 and you win. That's all. Well, Puerto, thank you for being so generous and giving them a way out. I'm sure the Xbox team really appreciates that. But how is an 87 not looking good for them? I swear to God, Starfield could have gotten like a 95 from the critics and they still would not be satisfied. And I guarantee if Starfield did get like a 94 or a 95, they would have said, oh, well, look at Baldur's Gate 3, it has a 97, therefore a 95 is bad. Like, there is actually no winning with these guys. I have to wonder, and I wonder this quite often, how these guys take themselves seriously. There's no shot you can be this way and not be self-aware. But anyway, let's continue on. Told y'all to never bet on green, always bet on blue. Hashtag Starfield, hashtag Xbox ain't got it. Bet on blue for what? What has Blue done this year? They haven't released any games, and they won't until October, and that's the only one. Their showcase was an absolute disaster, and they're launching their own version of the Wii U, because that worked so well for Nintendo. So what exactly am I betting on Blue for? If you said this last year with God of War Ragnarok, that would have made a lot more sense. Which, dear God, I just had the realization that Ragnarok is coming up on a year old. Oh no, I don't like that at all. Okay, we're gonna move on before I have an existential crisis. 100 billion in publishers and developers just to continue getting mid. Jesus. Hashtag Starfield, hashtag dirty, hashtag Xbox. Jesus, J-Dub, is this already your third tweet about that IGN review? I swear to God, if IGN doesn't give an Xbox game a perfect score, these guys treat them like God. And again, they ignore the IGN reviews from all the other countries. And just all the other good reviews in general. They hard focus this one. Why? Because it fits their narrative. And on top of that, dude, you realize they spent 7 billion on Bethesda, right? Not 100 billion, unless you're talking about like the total they spent on the ecosystem or something. Because even if you add the Bethesda and the Activision acquisitions together, they've only spent 77 billion. I say only. You know what I mean. Whatever, you get the point. IGN is suddenly a reliable source. And speaking of IGN, let's go ahead and get into the next tweet because this one is pretty funny. Revisit our review of Forza Horizon 5, which we named IGN's Game of the Year in 2021. Oh my God, you can't make this up. They got so much crap for their Starfield review that they made a tweet saying, hey guys, look, we don't hate Xbox, we gave Forza Game of the Year. As if that has to do with anything. You can have a popular opinion on one game that Xbox puts out, but then have an unpopular opinion on another. This is genuinely hilarious. The fact that an actual corporation put out this tweet after they got crap for their Starfield review is actually insane. Like, guys, just accept that you made a video that a lot of people didn't agree with and move on. It's okay to have an unpopular opinion. It's just you're probably gonna catch some crap for it. But welcome to the internet. That's just how it goes. Ah, crap. Now we're getting into the Red Dragon. All right, brace yourselves. 0 to 7 frames per second. They had the Xbox fanboy of the DF group run this. He still praised the 30 FPS overall. Now, look, I agree. Nobody should be praising the 30 FPS in this game, but I just absolutely love it when these guys do stuff like this. They'll take a screenshot of the worst moment of a Digital Foundry video, post it to Twitter, and then say, boom, look how bad the game runs. If you actually watch the video all the way through like I did, you would know that that stutter only happened to that guy once. And besides that, it was pretty much a consistent 30 the entire game. Sometimes it would drop a couple frames below 30, but that would be in New Atlantis. And don't get me wrong, that's still bad, but it's the fact that the Red Dragon is trying to portray it as if the game runs like this normally. It absolutely does not. Oh wow, what do you know? Yet another pony is bringing up the IGN review. It's over. Clear this is not game of the generation material. Not to say it's a bad game, just not what Xbox fans promised and hyped it up to be. IGN gives Starfield a 7. Remember, early review scores heavily skewed in favor of Xbox because they handpicked their outlets. Well, even a bunch of those outlets that they handpicked didn't give them great scores. Mary Station, I don't know how you say it. They were one of the handpicked outlets. They got their review released on the 31st and they gave it a 58. Digital Trends was also one of them. They gave it a 70. GameSpot was also chosen. They also gave it a 70. And I just love it. IGN gave it a 7, therefore the game isn't game of the generation material. Like, automatically. I love this logic so much. Let's ignore all the scores between 90 and 100, and let's base whether something is game of the generation material or not based off of the outlet that is known for its bad takes. Absolutely impeccable logic. I've been saying for the longest time that bigger does not mean better in games. Well, first of all, what are you talking about? Remember Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? What did the mayor say in that movie? Bigger is better. But in all seriousness, I do have to ask something. Why did you capitalize bigger and better? No, seriously, like, what was the point of that? But even putting that aside, oh look, it's another review that he handpicked. PC Gamer gave the game a 75. I love that the Red Dragon was calling out Microsoft for handpicking their outlets to review the game, but then the Red Dragon handpicks all the worst reviews to try and prove that the game isn't good.
Tom, if irony were made of strawberries, we'd all be drinking a lot of smoothies right now.
IGN, No Man's Sky did it better. Starfield full of loading screens everywhere, and some are extremely long. Completely kills immersion and flow of the game, and much of your time is staring and loading screens. Landing equals loading, building equals loading, exit equals loading, train equals loading. Well, the building equals loading thing, that's not true. Whenever you build an outpost or you build your ship, that doesn't take any loading. And look, obviously, you guys have been watching the gameplay on screen the whole time. Obviously, yes, there are a lot of loading screens screens in this game. Does that suck? Yes. But at the same time, most of the loading screens are under 5 seconds. The longest loading screen I've encountered is the one when you have to load from the menu into the actual game itself. God, I just feel like this whole loading screen thing has been blown completely out of proportion. It's really not that much of an annoyance, at least to me. But honestly, something that I've thought about a little bit as well is, I mean, okay, look, the game already does not run great either on PC or on Xbox. Imagine if there weren't those loading screens and like all the interiors of buildings and stuff were loaded along with everything else. That would make the already abysmal performance even worse. You know what, screw it, I'm gonna start a conspiracy theory. Maybe the reason there's so many loading screens is because they knew they didn't want to optimize the game properly, so they just put loading screens between interiors of buildings and stuff to help lighten the load on the hardware. If you want more conspiracy theories like this, be sure to subscribe. Nah, I'm just kidding. People saying Starfield reviews are divided. Let's take a look at what publications with Xbox in their name ranked it versus what veteran review sites ranked it. Xbox has managed to flood reviews with their hand-picked staff, but the weights are greater for the larger orgs. I love how disingenuous this guy is. Yes, of course there are going to be those biased Xbox sites. Obviously, you could see them in the screenshot there. But first of all, I love how anybody who gives a low score is automatically a pro. But second of all, it's so ironic because like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these high reviews were actually from IGNs in other countries. I mean, hell, look at this screenshot. This isn't me handpicking anything. I just went to all critic reviews, sorted by highest reviews, and then screenshotted the first several reviews. Only one of them is an Xbox related site. Look at the rest. IGN Spain, Game Rant, Washington Post, Gaming Bible, Gaming Bold. I don't know how to pronounce that next one. And Hey Poor Player. And hell, you can go to the Metacritic reviews if you want yourself. Most of the positive reviews aren't even from the Xbox sites. Obviously, yes, some of them are, and those reviews should definitely be taken with a grain of salt, but most of them have nothing to do with Xbox whatsoever. But whatever, I think I made my point. Let's keep going. Starfield ain't even winning Game of the Week. And then, you know what? The only sound I can make that would describe the face he's making right there is, you know what? Hold on, let me ready my voice really quick. I'm still a little sick, so this might be easy. He looks like he's going... And for anybody wondering, no, I'm not going to make any jokes about him being bald. I leave that to Frit. But I love how he's saying that, and in this picture, he has Baldur's Gate 3 downloaded on his PS5, when Baldur's Gate 3 has already been out for over a month. All, like, the major hype and conversations around the game have kind of gone away at this point. That's not to say that it's been completely abandoned. Don't get me wrong. There's still tons of people playing it. I'm still playing it myself. It's an amazing game. But I think it's safe to say it's past its initial hype period. And it's just so funny because all these guys were saying, oh, it's not even Game of the Week or whatever. They're the ones who are talking about the game the most. You guys are contributing to Starfield being the biggest game out right now. All right, we're coming up on the end here. 3 more tweets left. Xbox made fun of Final Fantasy cutscenes only to turn around and spend most of their time in Starfield watching black loading screens. Phil paid $7.5 billion to make sure no one was able to compare the PS5 SSD to Xbox on Starfield. Jesus Christ. Of course, he had to bring the SSD into this. That magical SSD that's so superior to everything else out there. Which, fun fact, the Series S actually loads some games faster than the PS5, like the Dead Space remake. But ignoring the whole stupid SSD argument, Jesus, that's like 3 years old at this point. Move on, guys. Once again, these loading screens are so over-exaggerated. Would it be better if they weren't there? Yes, obviously. But it's not like you're spending most of your time watching them, because like I said earlier, most of the loading screens are less than 5 seconds. And the longest one that I've ever had was loading from the main menu. But hey, I guess if making dumb statements on Twitter helps with the engagement revenue, then who am I to judge? Red Dragon is probably Scrooge McDuck at this point. All right, second to last one. Here we go. A lot of refunds taking place right now. Not a single one of the Steam conversations he showed in that screenshot mentioned a refund. Do you have any hard numbers to prove that there's a lot of refunds going on right now? No, I didn't think so. Yes, there's complaints about stuff like a lack of DLSS, general bad performance, but none of those mention people refunding the game. Imagine being so pathetic and desperate to find any dirt on a game that you go to the Steam conversations, just screenshot the first page you see, and then say, oh, well, this proves that there's a lot of refunds happening. All these PlayStation fanboys, but especially the Red Dragon, these guys just have unhealthy obsessions with this stuff. Like, why are you so desperate to talk trash on a game? And I think that's the key word here, desperate, because earlier we had the 87 Metacritic somehow being bad. Now we have Steam conversations proving that there's a lot of refunds happening. Thank God we're finally on the last tweet, but just wait, guys. This one is so dumb, I had to pull a clip from an Adam Sandler movie. All right, without further ado, let's read this. Ouch, Starfield is already discounted in over 20 countries after poor reviews, some up to 50%.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Thank you to Rob Pitt for also pointing this out. That is a currency converter, you absolute idiot. That is not how much the game is discounted. It shows the price of the game in other countries, and then the percentage is how much more or less it costs when directly translated to US dollars. The Turkish lira, for example, I hope I said that right, by the way, as Rob Pitt said in that screenshot, is lower value, and Turkey is a lower income country than the United States. Therefore, it is cheaper so they can sell the product to more people. Imagine being so stupid and desperate to console war that you pull up a currency converter and then try to pass that off as the game being discounted because of quote-unquote bad reviews, even though the game has an 87. But actually, at this point, I think it has an 86 on Xbox and an 88 on PC. This might unironically be the dumbest thing I have seen in the history of this channel, and that is saying a lot. And before my brain melts anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. So yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I don't remember if I said it earlier, but apologies for taking so long to get this out. If it were up to me, this video would have been up on like Friday or Saturday, but I'm pretty sure I caught the new COVID variant, so that's fun. But anyway, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.